Today, we're on location on Vacation 2020.
Welcome to Brett and Eric Discuss.
Today, we're on location on Vacation 2020, and we're going to talk about what is 2020 vacation COVID pandemic experience like on site at my personal family vacation today.
Well, Eric, where'd you go and why'd you go there?
We're in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and we went here because it's my wife's family's tradition to vacation at this spot. Actually, we're south of Myrtle Beach in a small town called Garden City Beach, and it's a beautiful little place.
Nice. Now, isn't that one of the hot spots that we have that I see on the national news?
Yeah, it is, Brett, and quite frankly,
great.
Yeah, it is. It's caused quite a bit of consternation between my wife and I about this trip because she feels like it's a condo that we're staying in, so we're separate from other people, and there's some truth to that. We are definitely separated, so we went ahead and decided to go down. My concern was that we would get out into the general population and mingle with activities. Maybe it's on the beach or maybe it's somewhere else, but we ended up making the trip, so I guess you can tell who won out there at the end of the day.
Well, we always know who wins, and it's not going to be you, okay, or me in my situation. But we'll leave it at that. But yeah, you're quarantined maybe inside the four walls of your condo, but at the same time, you do have to go to the pool, the beach. You got to go to the grocery store. People want to go and maybe shop for knickknacks or souvenirs.
Right.
And aren't other states quarantining vacationers returning from Myrtle Beach to their home states?
Yeah, West Virginia and Virginia both have stated, hey, if you've been to Myrtle Beach, when you come back, you need to self-quarantine for 2 weeks. Now, we'll probably try to quarantine when we get back. And actually, I had a little bit of a scare yesterday where I felt a little warm and my stomach was upset, so I went to bed early. Now, granted, I'd been playing in the ocean for a few hours, and I'm sure that I consumed more than my fair share of ocean water getting tumbled in the waves. But I feel fine today. I don't have a fever. Didn't have a fever last night, but I didn't feel great. So I think it's a reasonable risk. I'll share some pictures here in this video of some of the activities that I saw on the beach, and there were a lot of people congregating. And when you see multiple heads of households together, you know that they probably don't live in the same household and that they've met up here on a family vacation. So there's certainly a lot of opportunities for spread. We also have seen lots of people here not wearing masks. But that's not just specific to Myrtle Beach area. We saw that, frankly, all the way down here. The further south we got, believe it or not, the fewer masks that we saw. And as we were heading south, I told my wife, I'm like, we really need to stay away from restaurants. We really need to stay away from things like arcades, amusement parks, any place where a large number of people congregate and they're not always careful about keeping things clean. Just made me nervous. Now, if you met my wife, you'd know that arguing with her may be more dangerous than COVID.
Well, then I assume you drove down, you didn't fly down. I was going to ask how you got there.
Yeah, we sure did. We drove. And the same reason that we talked about in our vacation video, we felt like we could control our point of contact with people better that way. We contained ourselves on our own vehicle. We get out of it to get gas and take a restroom break. And we would have to encounter people at that point, but we tried to keep that to a minimum, and we wore our masks and we tried to keep our distance. Not everybody else was as courteous about the distance, though.
It's challenging, but the things that the kids touch when they get out of the car, all the common surfaces, it must be tough, So, what was the trip like with the kids in the car for that many hours? The wife that you're doing battling with, for this issue or that issue. Were the kids going crazy, or how were they?
Well, they were really anxious to get here and play, for sure. So, and it's a long drive for us. It's about 16 hours, so we do it in 2 days. So we actually had to spend one night in a hotel. but we were able to get a room on the 4th floor, which only had a couple other rooms occupied. The hotel was pretty empty, and we were at the end of the hallway, distant from the other rooms, so we had some space between us and them. But we went through that, and that seemed to be okay. Actually, the hotel staff was wearing masks. Not a lot of the guests were wearing masks, but the staff was, and there were extra measures put in place in a lot of cases to make sure that for example, they don't clean the room in between nights. They only clean it before or after checkout, before you check in. So the room itself, they don't have a lot of interaction with outside people to keep you clean. So that was interesting, and I was glad to see that. And the hotel was immaculately cleaned, so we felt pretty good there. But it was a long drive.
So your journey, so for your trip down, it was long, but as far as traffic, seeing people, cars,
the traffic, that was
seeing
crazy.
people at your restroom breaks, and what are people doing at the different places that you would stop that would be different today than in previous trips, trying to keep you guys safe.
Yeah, so we drove through Chicago on a Friday morning when would normally be rush hour traffic, and we didn't even hardly slow down. I mean, we slowed down a little bit, but we didn't come to a stop, which just shows you that, one, there's not a lot of people going on vacation, two, the commuters are way down, and we really didn't see any heavy traffic anywhere, even coming into the Myrtle Beach area, which sometimes can be very backed up. We sailed right into it. We had no issues. So the other thing that was interesting is when we checked into this complex, it actually has 15 units. And of the 15 units, 6 are occupied. We talked to a gentleman who stays at this complex several weeks a year, and his comment was that a lot of people have canceled, and they have a reservation system that allows them to cancel if they have either contracted COVID or fears of COVID, etc. They just have to use the reservation sometime later in the year. So that was pretty good to know that they're accommodating a lot of people like that. A lot of people aren't actually showing up for vacation.
Interesting.
So that was.
How about in the town?
The town isn't very busy either. Actually, this is our 4th time here in this condo complex. It's the first time we've been here when it hasn't been completely full, and the town is much slower. And you would expect things to be on sale, right? Because they're trying to drum up extra business and things, but nothing seems to be priced any more aggressively than it was before. In fact, the condos are renting for the same price as well. So no discounts that we've seen yet.
That's interesting. The business community's not trying to offer deals to lure people, to the area.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought that would be something that you would see a lot of people talking about. This is a great time to go on vacation because everything's on sale, but that hasn't been the case.
Interesting. Now, overall, how would you rate your vacation as far as activity, safety, experience? Was it worth coming during the COVID-19 environment, or should you maybe delayed it, or how do you rate it compared to previous years?
Well, I would say that it's definitely put a damper on things. There's this constant concern, like, is this going to, be worth it if somebody gets sick or dies? So it makes it hard to relax, and that's kind of the point of vacations, to try to relax and enjoy your time with your family. So that's kind of been there, and even the kids feel it, right? They know, I can't touch that, we can't go here because of COVID, and that might not be open because of COVID.
Yeah.
So that's been
sad.
Yeah, it's been kind of a drag, to be honest. But overall, we've had fun. It's just not as fun as it's been in years past.
But it was probably great from a mental stress point of view to get out of the house and do something different after being home for 4 months, with minor trips to the grocery store and big box stores if you needed something from a home improvement environment.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, my son doesn't want to go home. He's just like, I just don't want to go back to it, Dad. But he was really struggling with the confinement the most. So he was thrilled when we got here, and he's dreading going home, which frankly is coming up pretty quickly. We're going to be leaving tomorrow at about this time.
Wow. Back in the car, back with
2 more
everybody.
days of driving.
It's not a lot of fun, but probably maybe safer than flying.
Yeah, I think so. But airlines in general make me nervous right now, so I don't plan on flying anytime soon.
Well, I guess they're looking at their long-term survival, that they need the revenue to survive, otherwise they won't be around. And considering that, you know, a vaccine may be a year away, we may never get one. We don't know.
That's true.
Everybody's working very hard. People have positive signs. But if the vaccine is that far out, what are these companies going to do for revenue to stay afloat? So I can understand the bean counters trying to encourage them to go full planes, but at the same time, the passengers and even the staff would probably prefer more social distancing. You know, the airline crew.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. And you've seen some news reports about some airline crews becoming infected with it. I haven't heard about any deaths or anything, but.
Well, we wish you all the best on your journey home for
Thank
2
you.
days. Again, be safe as you're traveling, you know, with the kids, what they touch and so forth, who they encounter. And that's got to be hard to corral them when they get out of the car.
Yeah.
Because the confinement issue.
Yeah, they're both pretty good kids when it comes to this because they take it seriously. They know that it's a sickness and that if mom or dad get it, we might not make it, right? So we don't talk about the mortality of it a lot because we don't want to scare them, but they do take it pretty seriously. But they're still kids, so it's hard to see something shiny on a shelf and not reach out and grab it, right? And
sure.
You know, so you got to keep your eye on them.
Well, it's nice to have the beautiful sunset behind you and being on location. It's typically not when we what we have when we do these videos and we chat back and forth. So it's nice to see some different scenery, even for me stuck here in the Bat Cave.
Yeah, well, it looks like the sun that we're getting here is starting to hit you guys there, and I hope you have a nice sunny day as well.
Well, yes. You take care. Have a safe journey back, Eric.
Thank you, Brett.
Hey, thanks for watching Brett and Eric discuss. We hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give us the thumbs up.
If you have any comments, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment down below.
Also, if you haven't already subscribed yet, please do so.
Next to that subscribe button is a notification bell. If you like these videos, ring that bell.